alaikum, dear students. Hope you are fine. I'm going to work from the Oxford History for Pakistan. The writer's name is Peter Moss, and this is book 1 for 6th class. The World in the Beginning, and it's on page number 4, Oxford University Press. No one knows how and when in the universe and the world began.
This is the procedure we are going to learn, that how this earth came into existence. There are 4 stages we are going to follow. The number 1 is earth came into existence and then it became cold. When it was get cold, the green slimes appeared. That was stagnant water. The water stayed on the place is called stagnant water. The water which don't move anymore, that is called stagnant water. And then last thing came into being was small lizards appeared, and then that small lizards became the mighty dinosaurs, and those were the mightiest form of that small lizards. First there were small lizards, and afterward they became what? The mighty dinosaurs. And now we are going to learn how these things came into being. The earth came into existence 4,000 million years ago. And the second thing, earth become cold in about 2,000 million years. And then there green slime, stagnant water, another 1,500 million years. It took another 1,500 millions to develop this stagnant water. And then there was another thing created, that was small lizards, and afterward they became mighty dinosaurs in about 200 million years ago. Now for the MCQ's point of view, you are going to learn these things, MCQs and short questions. You are going to learn these. First, earth came to existence, you are going to learn 4,000 million years. You are going to learn this one. And then when the question comes, how earth became cold and when, so you are going to learn another MCQs here. This is 2,000 million years. And then green slimes, stagnant water, it took another 1,500 millions, and it is also short question, and also it could be MCQs. And then the small lizards came into the earth, it created, and then the small lizards became dinosaurs. It could be short question and also MCQs. When I am going to talk about this one, you are going to relate this one here with this date, 200 million years ago.
The earth is only a small planet of one of the smaller stars. The sun and our sun is only one of the millions of other stars in the universe. In this passage, we are going to discuss that how and when universe came into existence. The earth, I told you, is the smallest part of the universe, and when it came into existence, it took many of the billions years to make it into existence. and we can say the universe is full of many stars. I mean millions of stars. So the earth is the smallest part of the universe. Moving on to the next paragraph, some scientists say that the earth itself was formed about 4,000 million years ago from the white hot gases pulled out from the sun by a passing star. And these took 2,000 million years to cool down and the rocks, the water to be formed before any life could appear. Scientist says the earth itself was formed 4,000 million years ago from the hot gases. It was pulled from the sun by passing star. Actually, sun was passing, and from there gases were pulled and this earth came into existence. And then it took 200 years to make it cool down, and then afterward then the life came into existence on the earth. I mean, it took a long period to move on and form. Moving on to the next paragraph, it starts from here up to here, dear students. It says the first living thing seems to have been the green slimes. We see a stagnant water. I mean, green slimes mean there was stagnant water was seen upon there, and this was the only life there was for another 15 million years. 1500 million years. When tiny creature began to appear in the warm water. Students, I'm going to explain this third paragraph, and it says that life was not there was anymore. So what was first thing there? Only stagnant water, and that stagnant water was called green slimes, and this was only life. There was another 1500 million years, and then in the warm water there was something formed, and that was tiny creatures. Tiny creatures means small insects, small animals, small kind of creatures. The most important thing for the examination is you are going to underline 1500 million years for MCQs. So you can meanwhile underline those main things for the MCQs. Jumping to the last paragraph of this topic, I'm going to read this paragraph for you from here up to here. It says, about 300 million years ago, small living things like lizard, which could live on land and in water, appears, as well as some simple insects. About 250 million years ago came reptiles, at first very tiny, but after a long time developing into the mighty dinosaurs. Some mammals appears about 200 million years ago, and 50 million years after that, first glimpsy birds. The first animal resembling a human being did not come and about until only 2 or 3 million years ago. If we imagine the earth began 24 hours ago, and then the first ape man appears only 54 seconds ago. Now we will move toward the explanation of this whole passage starting from here until here. In this passage we get to know that first about 300 million years ago living things like lizards, and afterward some small insects appear, and that small insects came. The first they were very much tiny, and afterward they came the bigger one like dinosaurs. And here you need to underline this 2 million years ago for MCQs, and also you need to underline the name of the animal, tiny animal that came into the bigger one in the mighty shape was dinosaurs. So this could be also an MCQs, and also it could be in the short questions. Students, when we move toward the last portion of this topic, it says then after all things there was human being did not come until only 2 or 3 million years ago. And if you imagine, if you think, if we just for instance thinks the earth began 24 hours ago, and then the first ape man, ape mean that monkey type animal, monkey type human became into existence and appeared only 54 seconds ago. Dear students, first this small human came into existence like in a monkey shape. The earliest shape of human was like this. You could see in the picture. The first earliest human was like this. In the last lecture, that was the earth came into existence. We learned in there how the world in the beginning. So through this flow chart, we are going to have this sequence for our understanding that how we gone through by the last lecture. Here we could see the earth came into existence 4,000 million years ago. And then in second step, earth becomes cooled down. It was in 2,000 million years. And then if we move on with the same concept and we go through by that, then in the third step we see green slime appeared, that was stagnant water. The water which can move, which is not moving on, not flowing water, this is called stagnant water. And it was another 1,500 million years ago for taking this procedure done. And then in the fourth step, we could see there was small lizards appeared, and that small lizards became mighty dinosaurs in 200 million years ago. And then the last stage we see then the ape men appeared. They were just like monkeys. I showed you the picture of those monkeys in the last lesson, and it was in the late end on 4,000 million years ago. 4,000 million years ago. We are going to learn the earliest humans, and this is actually a story about how human came into existence and how they developed and how they progressed. If you see here, it says the first people appear in Africa, in the east it was, and were probably halfway between human and apes. Apes are just like monkey, they are half man and half monkey. They are called apes. They were short and bent forward as they walked, and their bodies were covered with coarse hairs.
Terminologies we are going to discuss, and the first one is coarse hair. It means the small quantity of hairs on the body, such as apes. Apes, I told you in the lecture, they are just like monkey, half man and half monkey. And that was the earliest stage of human in the very beginning.
Moving on, the next says they almost certainly could not walk, talk to one another. They wander in the family groups, searching for food, which include leaves, roots, berries, dead animals, and lizards, insects, and small creatures such as ate raws. This term raw include the food. Actually, raw is refer to the food. Food they used to eat was unbaked, uncooked. That food was called raw food. I mean, they used to eat raw food, leaves, berries, lizards, small insects, these kind of things they used to eat. We have just discussed in the previous passage. And they had no weapons or tools except the sticks and stones, and they picked up from the ground simply. And they had no way of cooking food because they did not know how to make fire. And through sometimes they may have seen grass set ablaze by the sun rays and volcanoes. They slept under bushes or in the trees and then moved on. Now we are going to learn this term, set ablaze.
The term we are going to learn is set ablaze. Set ablaze in the passage is about the fire. Actually, the people in the earliest age, they did not know the fire. So fire used to lit by itself through the volcanoes or from the sun rays. So this term refer to the set ablaze, mean lighting the fire itself.